Come on, kilobytes. Okay, there we go. Hey there, folks. As far as you're concerned, my name is Freak with a Pen, and this is the Whatever Wednesday stream, and we are playing the very first adventure of Detective Grimoire. A game so early on in the series, in fact, that the original creators do not consider it canon. Although that's kind of bullshit, considering the fact that, one of the characters in this game shows up later on in the series, and, literally a couple of the events are, in fact, referenced in Secret of the Swamp, but, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, anyway. Play. Come on. There we go. How's the audio mixing sound? Let me turn down the computer audio real quick. Make sure y'all can hear my voice, since a lot of this is ooh. Since a lot of this is written dialogue, then I'm gonna have to read. Anyway. Where's the fucking thing? There you are. PDPD. I didn't realize that when I first played this. Turn that down significantly because it's fucking making me deaf in my headphones. PDPD file 054. Victim Hugh Everton. Crime murder. Let me try and readjust my other headphones that are connected to my phone, so I can check the audio levels in a way that I won't be hearing an echo of myself. At 10:28 last night, a body was found at the local fairground that operates just outside of town. The cleaner, one Jerry Spears, discovered the dead body of his former colleague inside the House of Mirrors. Let me also turn down the volume on my phone. Maybe that'll help. That's ever so slightly distracting. Okay, that should be fine. I don't know why I'm making that noise, because that's the noise I make when I'm trying to read, when I'm just trying to speed read through something. But it's literally... All of the evidence points towards murder. The clown, Charles Ringer, who works at the very same fairground, is the main suspect. He seems to have some less than favorable links with the victim. If this grim case remains unsolved, the fairground manager, Mr. Gary Coyles, has stated he will have to prematurely shut down operations. Private Detective Grimoire has been called in to clear things up. We've got one evening to find the truth about what happened last night. If Grimoire can't solve this mystery, no one can. I'm not gonna repeat myself, Grimoire. You're listening this time, right? Something pretty nasty happened here last night. I'd say everyone at the fairground is suspect. And you've only got this one evening to do your thing. My thing? Don't tell me you're getting nervous now. The other guys tell me you're the best at this. You're not going to let me down, are you? It's your job to talk to the suspects and explore the fairground for clues. You'll obviously need to take a look at the crime scene, but not overlook any details, understand? Right. I think I understand. I have a bad feeling about this place. Can't shake it. Everyone's a suspect. It's your job to find out who has a credible alibi and who's lying to you. You should be able to work out who the murderer is by proving everyone else innocent. If you're confused about what to do, don't hesitate to ask me. Alternatively, the tutorial information is available from your notes page, where you can save your game. Officer James, the fuck are you talking about? What sorcery are you speaking, man? What's with the mustache? Ahem. That's neither here nor there. Tell me about it. That thing is here, there, and everywhere. There's someone there. Wait, what? Hi! Here's the little girl again. The little girl who, despite it seeming like she was going to be the partner of Detective Grimoire after The Secret of the Swamp, is nowhere to be seen in Tangle Tower. It just bugs me. What on earth? Where are your parents? This is the scene of a crime. I know. That's why I'm gonna help you out, detective. Why did you say it like that? I'm a real detective. In that case, where's your hat? If I had a nickel. Detectives don't have to wear hats anymore. Plus, it messes up my hair. I believe you. Anyway, hat or not, you're still gonna need this. A map of the fairground? Hey, thanks. See you later. I have no idea who that was, but I'm pretty sure she's not the murderer. I sure hope not, anyway. This place is pretty run down, but I can't see any clues yet. There's someone here, too. I better get this investigation underway. Hey, you over there. Who on earth are you? I'm Detective Grimoire, and I'm here to solve the mystery of last night's murder. Right. I see it now. The trench coat and everything. Aren't you supposed to wear a hat, too? That's beside the point. Hugh Everton was murdered last night, and you, Charles Ringer, you're a suspect. The main suspect, in fact. Oh, because I'm a clown? Who made that wonderful leap of logic? Look, I know Hugh and I never got on, but I can tell you one thing. I'm not capable of murder or anything close. Look at me. Is this the face of a killer? I mean, John Wayne Gacy leaps instantly to mind. Oh god, what did I do this for a bit? Now I've got to get everything back into fucking order. Oh, fuck me. Gotta get it as close to the middle as I can. Oh, and I've got to remember this for when I'm editing. So not everything is cockeyed when I... Oh, no. Oh, no, wait. I'm not going to edit this because it's... No. Okay. No, never mind. It's fine. That looks good. Okay. Y'all can still hear it, right? Okay, good. Get back up here. I'll try to refrain from pulling anything like that again. I'm gonna have to get a little more information out of him, I think. If you're not the killer, what were you doing last night? I was here, of course. You know, being a clown and all that. I left quite late last night, actually. I had a few hold-ups in the evening, but I didn't see anything suspicious. Need a little drinky poo. I had a sore throat ever since dinner. Scratched up my fucking throat with a garlic knot. What was the last thing you saw before you left? Let's see. On my way out, I walked past a hall of mirrors and noticed the door was slightly open. I closed it and carried on through the fairground. The only strange thing about that whole episode was how quiet the Hall of Mirrors door was. It normally lets out a loud creak when you move it. I think that's part of the attraction, you know? The Hall of Mirrors. That's the crime scene. I wonder why the door didn't creak that evening. And why would it open? And why would it be open? Why would it be open? Why would it be open? Yeah. The funhouse is falling apart. I think it was the victim's job to look after it. There's a small opening there. I might be able to get in this way, but I'm not sure. I'll come back later. Ahem. Excuse me, miss. Do you work here? I'm pretty sure I do. The name's Mandy. Mandy Ferrer. I'm in charge of running this game stall. You seem a bit young to be working in a place like this, don't you think? You seem a bit young to be a private detective. Oh, Are detectives only allowed to wear a hat? Are detectives only allowed to wear a hat when they reach a certain age? I'm older than I look. Oh, I'm older than I look, I'll have you know. Anyway, could you tell me a little about yourself? I'm conducting an investigation to find out about last night's murder. Of course you are. Why else would you show up? Unless you were after some candy floss. Did you know it's actually bad for you? My powers of deduction do stretch that far, thanks. I'm not sure what to tell you. I've worked here for a little while. I got my job through my uncle. This job is helping me pay for college, but it's a lot of fun too. I get to hand out toys to kids who doesn't want that? Oh. I feel a little bit bad about giving her the vapid Valley Girl voice now. I wonder if her uncle is here at the fairground. Last night. Could you tell me what you were doing last night? How could I forget, really? I was here late like I normally am, just kicking about. Eventually I hear shouts coming from the Hall of Mirrors. And Jerry, oh, that's the cleaner, he comes running over to me and starts telling me what's happened. I helped him call the police. After they showed up, we were allowed to go. We were allowed to go home. So, you were one of the last people here last night. Seems that way. But I was here at my stall the whole time. I had things to do, you know? I wonder why Mandy stays late every night. I think I should have a look around here and press her about it. I wonder why there's so many books. I'll try asking Mandy about them, I suppose. Those toys look really cheap. Maybe I should ask Mandy about them. Do you get on with the other staff here at the fairground? Oh yeah. The guys often argue amongst themselves, but I stay out of it. Charles the Clown is a pretty hard guy to get along with, but he's got a good heart. I can't say I had particular dislike for anyone, except, well, Jerry does get on my nerves, but he's sweet, I guess. I got on well with Hugh, although no one could deny he was pretty useless at his job. The funhouse was always in a terrible state. Sometimes I'd try to help Hugh with repairs or ideas for improvements, but he'd never get anything done. I've always figured the boss would replace him, but now look what happened. Why can't I read this fucking sentence aloud? But now look what's happened. Sounds like Mandy has an interest in the funhouse. I don't want to sound rude, but these toys look pretty cheap. I've never seen those characters anywhere before. What? You've never heard of Turquoise Bunny or his friend Ruby Rabbit? What about everyone's favorite, the King of Scarefelix? Scarefelix? The fuck? Alright. Oh, King of Scare dash Felix. Okay, I got it now. I'm an idiot. Or Jimmy the Striped Horse. He's quite a new one, actually. Right. I gotta wonder what this little dude in a fucking business suit is. Or this reject Dragon Ball Z character that's staring at me from behind the UI. It's you again. You need to find your parents and go home, I'm afraid. I can't go just yet. I can't go just yet. You still need my help. I'm quite capable of carrying out these investigations without you, thanks. Although that map is really useful. Really? Have you managed to get into the funhouse yet? there's a small opening to the left of the main door. You can go through there. It'll lead into a small office where he used to work. Thanks, I guess. How do... She's gone again. What a weird kid. I guess I'll try getting through that opening after I've checked out the scene of the crime. What's this green marker pen doing here? I can't help feeling it's out of place. There's considerable space behind that table. Looks like there's no one there at the moment. Brain, why won't you brain? You can clearly see through the hull of mirrors through this grubby little window. Well, aren't you goddamn terrifying? Hi there, kiddo. What's your name? It's Grimoire. Detective Grimoire. And I'm no kid, thank you very much. It sounds like somebody needs some candy floss. Did you lose your hat? Oh. I don't need any candy floss, and I did not lose my hat. Now, if you don't mind, I need to ask you about last night's murder. Hey man, no need to shout. That I did not expect. Can that guy really be a kid's entertainer? Yeah, so, I'm the entertainer here. I entertain kids and stuff. That's great. Ricky Wurr, is it? That's it. What do you want, then? Well, I'm not very entertained, that's for sure. Right then, I need to know everything you saw last night in as much detail as you can manage, please. Yeah. I was here all evening. Nothing happened. You have to remember something. Think! Hope he does, or I'll be a little stuck. Well, I guess there was one thing. Excellent. Please go on. I went home pretty late. On my way past here, I saw Hugh. Outside the Hall of Mirrors. Hugh? Yeah, he was heading inside, actually. Mumbling something about leaving the light on. The light? Was it on last night? Yeah, I don't know why, though. Maybe that's why Hugh was going in to switch it off. Did you notice anything else? I didn't see nothing. Not even... Well, see the oil by the door to the Hall of Mirrors? That wasn't there when Hugh went in last night. I see. Well, that's very helpful. Thanks, Ricky. Wait, there's one more thing. As I was walking away, I heard a loud squeaking sound. I guess it was probably the Hall of Mirrors door. Wow, you turned out to be useful after all. What? I mean, thanks again. So, he went to the Hall of Mirrors to turn off the light. The oil wasn't on the ground when he went in. And the door let out a screech when he opened it. What does it all mean? Also, I see that. A clown's red nose. I wonder what it's doing on the ground. Some oil's been spilt right by the door to the Hall of Mirrors. The mirror's been broken down one side. The door into the hall is not visible in the now shattered reflection. There's a large bloodstain on the floor. Understandable, really. There are some shards of glass on the floor. There don't seem to be very many. There are some black marks on the ground. Looks like someone tried to wipe something away.
Well, hello there, young man. Can I help you with something?
As a matter of fact, you can. I assume you know all about the murder last night.
I'm afraid to say I do. Such a terrible loss. One can barely comprehend it.
Well, one's gonna have to try. You're the mechanic, right?
Beaten up hat at your service. I believe you met my niece Mandy.
Your niece? Oh, yes, I have.
Glad to hear it. I hope she was polite to you.
So, this is Mandy's uncle, the mechanic. I wonder what I can learn from him. So, if you don't mind me asking, where were you last night?
Well, let's think about that. For the most of the evening, I was fixing the back of the funhouse, as always. But I remember leaving relatively early. Thinking upon it now, I'm quite glad that I did.
Did you see or hear anything suspicious last night? Anything at all?
Well, I did catch a glimpse of young Ricky and Charles arguing right over there by the Hall of Mirrors.
The entertainer and the clown? Ricky and Charles were arguing outside the Hall of Mirrors last night. What about?
I'm not normally one for eavesdropping, of course, but I think it was something to do with being popular with the children. And something about a red nose, and I can't remember much else. Maybe you should ask them.
I should definitely go back and ask Ricky and Charles about that. It might be important. Have you worked here long?
Oh, yes, a very long time. I've seen many staff members come and go, but Gary normally knows how to run things.
Gary? Who's that?
Gary Coyle's our boss. You'll probably find him in his office. Yes, he's usually capable of making the right decisions.
But not always.
Is anyone?
Does he want me to answer? Oh good, he looked away. I'm no good at rhetorical questions. How well do you get on with the rest of the staff?
As well as could be expected, apart from I've been known to argue with Charles on a couple of occasions. But most of the people here are guilty of that. He's so difficult sometimes.
Sounds like Pete doesn't have much love for Charles the Clown. Fairground State. So, you like the way things are around here?
Most of the time, yes. I think I could say that. I'm not the only one to think that the funhouse has seen better days. You never really enjoyed his job, I don't think.
You let the funhouse fall into a state of disarray?
Yes, I'm afraid so. My niece Mandy often complains of it to me. I tell her not to cause trouble, but I know she could do a better job any day.
So Pete knows of his niece's desire to run the funhouse. Are you Jerry Spears? The police tell me you were the one to discover the murder last night. You got it. That was pretty scary stuff, I tell you. I can imagine. You're the cleaner here at the fairground, am I correct? I prefer the term refuge engineer, actually. I think I might be giving him the guy in the catsuit's voice. Let me put it up a bit higher there. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh, sure, I'm sorry, you look quite young to be working here. Too young to be at the fun fair? Most of the guys here are too old, that's what I say. Yeah, I'm the youngest person here. But being young has its perks, you know? Cleaner or not, I have a feeling this guy is gonna have some important information on him. Obviously, I'll need you to recount the events of last night. You're an important witness. Don't worry, man. I've been going over this in my head since last night. I haven't forgotten a single detail. I'll bet. I stayed pretty late. I was cleaning up around here all evening. Eventually, I went around the whole fairground to give the final clean. That's when I went into the Hall of Mirrors and found you. You weren't the last person here, though, right? That's right. Mandy was still here, working away. So, I ran to find her. We called the police, and as soon as they'd arrived, after we gave our statements, we were allowed to leave. And that's it? Yeah. Why, did I forget something? So you normally stay around the food court? Naturally. This is the area that needs the most cleaning. Did you notice anything else yesterday? Seems like you'd have a pretty good view from here. A good view? You bet. I did notice a couple of things. I got here real early, you see, before the boss. I saw Pete come from that direction. I saw Pete coming from the direction of the office in the morning. He put something in the bin there. Then went into the toilet cubicle. Is that right? I bet he probably scribbled some stupid message on the wall in there. People are always using it as a message board. Honestly, it's just extra work for me, you know? Sounds like I need to check out that bin and the toilet cubicle. The fun fair is so run down. How has it not been shut down by the health inspectors? I get that a lot. Why have they even employed a cleaner, if you're thinking? Apparently, the abandoned look is very popular with the kids these days. How fucking crazy is it that this game came out... Hold on. I'm gonna have to look this up. Detective Grimoire. You know, I could probably just look at the actual fucking Newgrounds page. Go to the Super Flash Bros page. Thankfully, this game is being played on the Newgrounds player thing. Latest games. This came out in 2007. And Five Nights at Freddy's came out in 7 years later in 2014. That is fucking mind-boggling. That they were, because like I don't think that the abandoned look, as Jerry puts it, was very popular at the time. But like now, you would make fucking bank with a goddamn with a like rundown haunted amusement park theme. We create everything to look old and rusted and dirty, but in fact it's all incredibly clean. That table behind me is only a couple days old. Hold on. How do you tell when things really do get dirty? Oh, well, you see... I guess I have no idea. Makes my job easier, don't you think? One time to take in the sights. The sights? What do you mean by the sights? The trees and voids and whatnot. Stuff like that, right? I haven't noticed a single tree or bird since I've been here. I think Jerry's holding some... I think Jerry is hiding something. I love this part. Get the truth! When a character is hiding something, you must perform... So, yeah, this is the gimmick in this game. The interrogation, it's not as interesting as the little things in the later games, but I mean, you know, it's early. Basically, what I've got to do is look away from them, you know, while they're talking, but when they lie, flick Grimoire's eyes towards them. It's, yeah. What is it that you love to stare at all day? I just sort of go into my own little world. I'm only a kid. I think it's something more specific than that. Like, what? Like Mandy Farrer. What? Why her? What's so special about... Okay, I can't. I give in. I can't help myself. She's so perfect. Can you blame me? You stay in the food court so you can stare at Mandy all day? Don't you think that's a little creepy? I'll bet I'm the least creepy person you've spoken to here at the fairground. Okay, fair enough. Don't judge me so harshly. Don't worry, kid. I won't say anything. Still, maybe you should get a hobby or something. Don't worry, kid. I feel so old. Anyway, Jerry, creepy as he is, wasn't lying about that. I guess he's only young. I wonder what Mandy thinks of him. There's an argument written on the wall about clowns. It seems to have been written by two different people. There's a drawing depicting Hugh getting hit by lightning. It's been drawn in green pen. Yay, I'm in a toilet cubicle. My glamorous, high-profile detective life is going smoothly. I found a pair of blue wire cutters in the bin. They appear to have some sort of chili dish on special. I don't know why Grimoire decided to bother taking a note of that, but okay. How'd you get in this? How'd you get in here? This is a staff-only area. Well, I just sort of knocked, and you opened the door for me. Do you not remember? Yes, I remember now. You're the local inspector coming to sort out this mess, right? I prefer detective, actually, and yes, that's right. My mistake. I was led to believe detectives wore hats, that's all. I don't like this guy already. Get me pictures of Spider-Man! I'm Gary Coils. I run this fairground. Probably not for much longer, but with the way things are going. Murder in my very own grounds. I can imagine it must be difficult times, but that's where I come in, you see. Wondering how helpful this guy is really going to be. Still, it's my job to try. Oh, wait, shit. Would you mind explaining to me what you were doing here yesterday evening? Yesterday? Well, oh yes, the murder. I had quite forgotten. I remember myself being annoyed yesterday. Quite dehydrated, yes. Just like this voice is doing to the guy voicing me. Excuse me for a second. I have got to find a different fucking voice for this character because it is already destroying. It is destroying my already strained throat. I remember coming in shortly before lunch and putting the various costumes into the wardrobe like usual. So Coils brings in the costumes himself, and he arrived shortly before lunch. Anyway, it was quite hot, you see. My office gets awfully stuffy in the sun, and I couldn't find any way to cool down. I think I'm basically giving him the same voice as, the clown was a bit more nasally. Yeah, okay. So this is good. Is good. That's, well, all important, I suppose. When did you leave in the evening? I always stay later than everyone else, and go over the fairground for the final check before I leave. Well, I normally do. I think I did that last night. I don't see why I wouldn't. There was nothing special going on. Sounds like Coils is unsure about when he left last night. Maybe there's a clue in here somewhere that can help me get the truth out of him. Have you been the manager of the fairground long? As long as I can remember, to be honest. So about 5 minutes then. I take great pride in ensuring a safe environment for all my staff and all my public. Some of the staff had been urging me to get rid of Hugh for a while. Did you know he was nearly completely deaf? I didn't, actually. Who was trying to get rid of Hugh, then? Well, neither Charles nor Pete particularly loved him. He caused more problems than he solved, that's for sure. Doesn't sound like he was very popular around here, but who was it that finally decided to get rid of him? The calendar on the wall says get home early on last night's entry. Maybe I should ask Mr. Coils about this. The wire providing power to the water cooler has been cut. Ooh, pen pot. There's no green pen in this set of pens. The pot looks like it has been knocked over. I noticed your office was in a bit of a mess. Doesn't particularly surprise me, but there's no harm in asking, right? Yes, well, I can assure you I keep this office perfectly tidy under normal circumstances. My throat. I haven't really had the time to clear up recently. So the mess is your fault. Well, who else would it be? There's one odd thing. My favorite green pen was gone missing from the pot on the desk. It's probably got lost in the mess somewhere. But I noticed it disappeared from my room quite suddenly yesterday. After I came back from lunch, I think. Okay, I'm gonna put less gravel into his voice because the gravel is fucking up my throat. Oh, God. So was someone in here during the time Coil went to lunch? Aid image. You told me you couldn't find a way to cool down yesterday. What about the water cooler over there? You're quite right. Of course. The water cooler you refer was in fact broken when I came into work yesterday. Not knowing much about these things myself, I called in Pete, our mechanic, to fix it. I think that was around lunchtime. I left him to get on with it as I went to lunch. You left him here? Alone? Did he fix it? Come to think of it, he didn't. I really should press him on that. I didn't see him again that day, actually. Pete was in here alone when Coils went to lunch. Wardrobe here that holds all the costumes for use in the fairground. Okay, I believe that's everyone to talk to. Yep. And in fact, I've already got one of the suspects as innocent. Alright, cool. Let's head back to the fun house so we can finally get into this room. It was a tight squeeze, but I got through. I hope there's something worthwhile in here. Ah, my thumb. Did y'all hear that? It's a big fucking snapping sound from my thumb. Lovely. Great. I'm sure that's not arthritis or anything. Odd looking mirror. Oh, that would be why. Because it's not a mirror. It's probably the murder weapon. Whoa. This has to be the murder weapon. And what's this? A brightly colored rag tied around the glass shard? 2 clues at once. Twofer, baby! This place is just as run down as everywhere else. And nothing. Oh, I clicked off the page. Hey, to-do list. The victim's to-do list has been added to with green pen. Yep, that's all the clues. So I should probably go back around and talk to peoples. The fairground. So, you work as the clown at the fairgrounds. How long have you been here? A long time. Too long. Too long, in fact. I don't really like the way things are going around here. I've no idea why I haven't left for good. I was appalled when the boss hired Hugh Everton to look after the fun house. Not only was he useless at his job, he was nearly completely deaf with old age. It's still not practical. Still, no one deserves, well, you know. He was deaf with old age and not very good at his job. This could be important information. Do you get on with the rest of the staff? That'd be a bit of an exaggeration, I'm afraid. Why is this voice bothering my throat? I don't mind Mandy or her uncle, but that Ricky, I'm a top-notch entertainer. That Ricky, I'm a top-notch entertainer war character is just too much. He doesn't even like kids. What a joke. He doesn't take any pride in his work. Looks like Charles finds it hard to get on with Ricky Warner. He's the entertainer, I think. Also, who's Charles to talk about pride with a big hole in his costume? Maybe I should ask him about that. If you don't mind me asking, why is there a big hole in your trousers? Surely you don't want to be a little neater than that, even if you are a clown. To be honest, I'd rather we talk about the unfortunate condition of my frilly clown slacks. Oh, I'd rather we didn't talk about the unfortunate condition of my frilly clown slacks. That's the first time anyone's ever said that, I bet. Still, there must be more to the story of his ripped clothing. Maybe I can find a clue that will get him to elaborate. Pete Nubbet told me that he saw you and Ricky arguing outside the Hall of Mirrors last night. This sounds like a serious matter. Would you mind telling me what it's all about? Ugh. Ricky and I are always arguing. It's no big deal, really. He's just the argumentative type. You're better off grilling him about this. Maybe I should ask Ricky about this. I don't know what that is, I'm afraid. I'm not sure about that. This red nose was found outside the crime scene. There's only one guy around here with a red nose, and it's not Rudolph, if you catch my drift. Okay, so it's a red nose, but I have no idea how it got there, honestly. I'm almost certain Charles is holding something back, but why? Get the truth! This red nose was found outside the scene of the crime. Could you tell me? You're getting on my nerves, you know, shoving stuff in my face like that. Besides. Oh, all right. I'll tell you why it was lying on the ground, if you really must know. Success. It didn't fall off my face. In fact, it was pulled off yesterday by some of the kids that came to the fairground. They were making fun of me, and I was just trying to keep my cool. Are you happy now? That's not the sort of thing you'd make up. I think I can believe Charles on this one. How does that prove he's innocent? I mean, if anything, we have this. That's... It's a piece of cloth ripped from your clown costume, that's what. Why do you have it? It was found wrapped around the murder weapon. I'm afraid looks like your luck has just run out. Wait, I can explain. I get my costume from the wardrobe in the boss's office. He brings in the costumes when he comes into work and places them in the wardrobe. I arrived at the fairground just after lunch. I went in to get my costume and found that it had a hole in it. Besides, look at this rag. It's really not like me to damage my own clothes. It's covered in some black stuff. I suppose it would be pretty stupid to wrap the murder weapon in your own clothes. Why don't you go and talk to the boss, Mr. Coils? He's normally in his office, just over in the corner of the fairground. He's over in his office. I can't help but notice that my nasally voice for Charles here, at least to my ear, sounds fairly similar to my normal voice, which that's a confidence booster. Your uncle. I spoke to your uncle, Peter Nubbet. You could have told me that the mechanic was your uncle. Did I not mention that? I don't really think anything of it. I didn't really think of anything. Yeah. I don't really think anything of it, I guess. Uncle Pete's a good guy. He works hard. Sometimes. A little too hard, I think. Okay, what clues might you know something about? What? You know? Oh, this is just the fucking thing about the... books? Oh. They're just for when I get bored, you know. It can get pretty quiet around here. There are an awful lot of them. Are you sure they're just for light reading? Yeah, I mean, why else would I need them? I'm not sure about this, but I can't help thinking those books have something to do with what Mandy was doing last night. Get the truth! Can you tell me why those books are all over the desk? What are you doing? Can a girl have a hobby? I don't see what... Ugh! Okay, you win. I'll tell you what I'm up to. Since you seem so eager to know, I'm studying for my exams, and these are my revision books. I need to bring them to the fairgrounds because it's the only chance I get to go over them. Is that why you stayed late last night? That's right. I stay late most nights, and use the time alone to get some work done. My exams are in 2 weeks. I'm totally unprepared. That makes sense. Why'd you keep it from me, though? I'm not sure. I suppose I was worried you'd think I was weird, bringing my revision books to work like this. Don't worry, I don't think you're weird. Now I'm the one who's been caught lying. Why would you think it's weird, Grim? But whatever. I'm pretty sure this clears up Mandy's alibi. I think I can believe her about this. How? How does it... Whatever. Alright, Ricky. The fairground. Can you tell me anything about the fairground? I can't tell you. I can't tell you anything. We're all. What should I do this one? I can't think of anything. And we're all one big happy family. Yup, that's right. Is that so? Yeah, well, a few people thought Hugh was a waste of space, but he kind of was like the funhouse is a tip. It's not really safe. I remember Farah always said she could do a better job of running it. So you're sure you get on with everyone here at the fairground? Yeah, I just kind of keep to myself, usually. I'm not thoroughly convinced. He told me he saw you and Charles arguing outside the Hall of Mirrors last night. Can you explain yourself? I don't see what... I don't really argue much. Ricky's holding back. I should push him. Get the truth! You, a suspect, were arguing outside the scene of a crime with Charles at another... That's not an answer. I don't see what the... You're lying. I'm certain you don't get on with Charles at all. Hey man, no need to shout. Like I said. Tell me the truth then. Right. Well, I don't get on with Charles. We do argue. It's always the same. The kids make fun of him, and so on. He gets annoyed, tries to take it out on me, nothing ever comes of it, nothing. Well, I suppose that clears that up. I'm beginning to think that this argument was a red herring. Someone is trying to distract me. Alright, I already did a... wire cutters.
I don't think I've ever seen those before. They're a little dirty. Where on earth did you find them?
In the bin, actually. By the food court.
Well, I suppose that explains why they're dirty.
It doesn't take a genius to see that Pete is avoiding the obvious here. Get to the truth! These are wire cutters. I'm quite convinced they've come... Well, they could have been... They are exactly the same as all the tools on your belt. There's even one space empty.
Oh, well, I suppose you're right. They must have fallen off my belt when I was having lunch, and someone found them and put them in the bin. Yes, obviously.
I'm not convinced at all. Still, seems like that's all he's going to say on the subject. We already got Jerry's, so that just leaves the boss's. And we went through all of his stuff. Clues. If I'm remembering correctly, it's this. It's like I said. I normally stay late and give the... Fuck! Oh, my throat. Man, I hope there's not a lot of fucking reading for me to do in Berserk tonight. God damn. It's like I said. I normally stay late and give the fairground a final check before I go home. But this calendar is clearly reminding you to go home early last night. Did you or did you not leave early last night? I, well, a bit of both. Coils is definitely hiding something from me. Time to get the truth. You told me you normally give the fairground a final check over before you go home. I think something is luring you away from the fairground. Nah, I don't know. I've never been very good at timekeeping. I mean, nothing except, well, maybe spill it. Okay, I'll admit it. I rushed home early last night to watch the Star Explorer all-night marathon on Channel 18. I'm sorry. You... What? It was wrong. I know. I just couldn't let a viewing opportunity like that pass me by. My fellow explorers would have laughed at me. Well, I suppose you've, learnt your lesson? This guy's a little weird, but he's not lying about this. Not for a second. Well, we've gone through everyone at the fairground, and only one is still a suspect. And I believe we have all the clues. Also, I think we have the... Yeah, anyway. Hey. I've forgotten what voice I gave him. I think it was this one. Oh, well. It's the voice he's got now. Hey, it looks like you've got your suspect. Are you ready to give your final conclusion? Let's do this. I love that. Don't even think about it. Pete Nubbit. What was the murder weapon? This bloody glass shard. Cough. What the fuck? Oh, is this basically the game saying this one's stupid? The first thing Pete did was to cut the wire for Coil's water cooler. He left his wire cutters in the bin outside, his first mistake. But why did Pete cut the wire for the water cooler? So he would be called in to fix it. Coils then arrives, bringing with him the costumes for the day. He notices that the water cooler is broken and calls Pete in to fix it during lunch. Pete goes into the office and takes the green pen from the desk and rips a section of Charles' costume. He eventually uses the pen to draw a picture. Pete drew a picture with the stolen green marker. Where? In the toilet cubicle. By this time, Charles has arrived. He goes into the office and takes his ripped clown costume from the cupboard. Later, Pete visits the Hall of Mirrors to smash the mirror. He takes the largest shard that falls and wraps it in Charles' rag. Why did he wrap the glass shard in the torn rag? To frame Charles' ringer. Before leaving, he leaves on the main light. He then hides in the empty game stall where he accidentally leaves behind his green marker. Hugh sees the Hall of Mirrors light through the window in his office. As he goes to turn the light off, the door lets out a loud squeak. So how did the oil end up outside the Hall of Mirrors? Because Hugh had oil on his shoe. No. Because Pete oiled the door before going in. Pete follows, but as not to attract any unwanted attention, he hastily oils the door to silence it before entering, causing a spillage by the door. Hugh has been distracted by the broken mirror, but cannot see behind him, for the mirror is cracked down the side that would normally reflect the door.
Where did the black smear on the hall floor come from?
Pete wiped up more oil to create the smears. Pete stabs Hugh in the back with the glass shard. On his way out, he notices he has spilt more oil on the floor. He hastily wipes it up with Charles's rag. Before making his exit, Pete hides the murder weapon along with the oily rag behind the frame in Hugh's very own office.
Alright, Grimoire. What was Pete's motive for murder?
He wanted to frame Charles Ringer. He hated having to fix the funhouse. He wanted Mandy to run the funhouse. All of the above. And that was the very first Detective Grimoire game. I don't know why the credits are filled with these weird little chibi versions of all the characters, but I'm digging it. It's crazy that Ego Raptor was some of the voice acting in this. What's this making of featurette? It's apparently not fucking clickable. Anyway, yeah, so that was the first Detective Grimoire game, and that only took us like an hour. I'll be back in a few minutes with, I don't know, something. I should probably do an outro here. So, thank you all for watching. If you're watching this on Twitch, please consider following the channel and when available subscribing. We're actually not that far off from y'all being able to subscribe. Only need 2 more followers, and we can finally unlock people being able to subscribe, so that'll be neat. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and dinging the bell. All of that really helps out the channel and lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out. If you're watching this on YouTube, there should be an end card right about now with 3 links on it. 1 to my YouTube channel, 1 to a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and 1 to the Detective Grimoire playlist that has the videos I did for Detective Grimoire, The Secret of the Swamp, and for my 2 Tangle Tower videos. Consider checking out the TikTok, where I occasionally upload clips from the stream, as well as do little D&D sketches, and do little D&D sketches. And finally, the TikTok gets exclusive streams of its own. In fact, later tonight, as I mentioned, I will be playing Berserk, Millennium Falcon. Let me see if I can... PS2 filter. These are not fucking filtered by name, son of a bitch. Here we go. Berserk, Millennium Falcon, Henseima Senkai no Shu. yeah, so there's that. If there's not a link directly to any of the things that I've mentioned, wherever you're watching this, there should be a link on my page of wherever you're watching this, to my link tree that does have links to all the things that I've mentioned. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you guys next time. Bye bye now.